Hey, Call to Lead group. Hey, this video will be about qualities and characteristics of high emotional intelligence. We met Monday, but we only met for a few minutes. A storm blew through, power went out, so we had to dismiss the class. We didn't even get far. Actually, the power went out right at 7 o'clock. And this month, emotional intelligence, I believe, is one of the most important leadership characteristic qualities that we need to really take advantage of the influence that God is giving us so that we can lead well and influence people well. And so because this is so important, I really want to place this information, put it on video. I was going to try to reschedule the class, but I think our schedules are just way too tight. So what I want to do is I'm going to record 4 different videos, and you can go through and watch these. And I'd love for you to make some comments on the YouTube channel there, things that are speaking to you, maybe some examples that you can share with us in the comments there, things that God is saying to you. And those of us that are watching and reading, I'm sure we can benefit from that. But what I also would like to do in session 4, month 4, this is going to be about leadership and influence, becoming the leader that people will want to follow. It's John Maxwell's book on the 5 qualities of a leader. And so what we'll do in that session on month 4, we will take just a few minutes to recap a little bit on the emotional intelligence. When I say recap, not from the notes, it's going to be really us together. I'd love for some of you to really share where God has challenged you over the years, maybe recently or maybe over the course of your life, that you can see where God has challenged you and increased you in the area of emotional intelligence, and you have greatly benefited from that. So in month 4, which is August, we're going to take some time, maybe about 10, 15 minutes just to go back and touch on emotional intelligence, because we didn't get to do that together as a group, and that's important to me. But hey, let me jump into this. Qualities and characteristics of a high emotional intelligence. There's 4 qualities here, and I'm going to give you a brief description of what they look like. And I think it's important because every one of us will operate in these 4 different lanes. 1 is the self-aware person. 2 is the self-managed person. 3, the socially aware person. And 4 is the relational manager. I'm going to put these notes also in the planning center too. You can download these notes. I do have some hard copies made because I made copies on Monday, and I didn't get a chance to hand them out. But I want you to see these. The self-aware person. When we are aware of ourselves, here's what that looks like. We understand our emotions as they occur. So we're so aware of, maybe we've been familiar with it. We've been burned a few times by our own emotions, and now we are triggered by that. We're aware of it, and we say, I will never let that happen again. Have you ever responded in a certain way and it didn't turn out well? Of course you have. I have too, many times. And there's been times that I walked away and said, I will never allow myself to respond that way again. That's becoming aware. It understands our emotions as they are arising, as we are feeling them. And we are able, because we are aware, we're able to do something about it. Knows personal strengths. I know my strengths, my weaknesses, triggers that I have, or even things that I value, my convictions. All of that is really important to be aware of the person that you're becoming, that God wants you to, how He wants you to lead. And when you know your personal strengths, you know where you can step up with confidence. Maybe where your weakness, you let someone else fill the space. Let someone else lead, support them. Things that trigger me. I know that if something triggers me, I know how I need to prepare myself and prepare my mind. And the more I know these triggers, the better I can lead myself in a higher level of emotional intelligence. Convictions that I have. I know things that are going to stir my heart. And so when my heart is being stirred with things that I value, things that I care about, I'm aware of what kind of emotion, how much do I need to allow my emotions to rule that, dictate that, demonstrate that. And then recognizes how emotions influence my decisions. When you're self-aware of these things, you will recognize how your emotions can actually either sabotage you or actually direct you to the decisions that you need to make. Number 2, the self-managed person controls emotional reactions rather than being controlled by them. Because I know my emotional reaction, I am able to get a handle on that, control that way before it gets out of line. I can control my tongue. I can put my hand over my mouth, so to speak. I can take a deep breath. I can leave the room for a moment, gain composure. I can go to a place of silence, to go for a walk, whatever it looks like. Whatever I need to do to manage my emotions in that moment so that I can control those emotions and not let them control me. Stay calm under pressure. The more we do in life and the more pressure that we are faced with, when we control what we feel in those pressured moments, you're expanding your capacity to do more and to be more. And when we don't expand that, when we don't stay calm under pressure, man, it's really putting a lid on how much God can use us and how many things and areas that God can use us. The Apostle Paul said, I want to become all things to all men. I want to become all things to all people. What was he saying? I want to be able to manage myself well under pressure so that I can be the person that I can be to as many people as I can be. If you only limit yourself to only a few contexts or only a few personality types, man, it's going to limit where God can place you. Also, a self-managed person demonstrates discipline. Adaptability is a good one. Like, we want to be able to stay flexible. If we don't stay flexible, we're going to break, we're going to snap, or we're going to snap somebody. So, and a thoughtful decision-making. All of these, self-managed person demonstrates discipline, adaptability, and thoughtful decision-making. Number 3, the socially aware person. The socially aware person, and I'm telling you, we're going to be in all of these, in all 4 of these. You're going to be around people. God's going to place you around people. So we have to become socially aware. If we're going to maximize our influence, maximize where God can place us, you've got to be able to read the room. Read other people's emotions accurately. You've got to be able to look at body language. You've got to be able to know that. I'm telling you, a lot of times in counseling, I am not only listening to what the person is saying, but I'm watching their body language. There's things that you can watch a person's body language and know if they are engaging or disengaging, or if they're shutting you down or shutting you out. Reading body language reading it accurately is important. Reading those emotions, because if you know that someone is being triggered emotionally by something that's happening, you can adjust what you're saying to them so that they don't leave the whole room or leave the conversation or disengage with you. Reading other people's emotions are so important. Listening to what people say. Don't cut them off. It's so important. Listen well. Notices body language, tone, and group dynamics. When you're in a group of people, you got to be able to ask God to give you wisdom on how to be socially aware in the place that God has placed you in. There's so many people that we could relate to. Daniel was one of them. He was placed out of his culture, out of what he was not raised that way in Babylon, but God placed him in Babylon, total different culture, and he had to learn their ways. Queen Esther is another one. She was spent training so that she could come into the room with a king and not do something wrong to where the king would take her head off because she's not aware. God will train us. Missionaries have to do this constantly. They have to be trained on the environment that they're going in so that they don't offend, so they're not a turnoff, because the message that we're carrying, the influence that we're carrying with people, that God, how he wants us to influence them, is way more important than us just doing our own thing and just checking off boxes. It's more than that. It's so much more than that. And God wants us to be socially aware. Fourthly is the relationship manager. Relationship manager builds trust and strong relationships. More than just, again, checking off boxes and hitting goals and mile markers and accomplishing. We're not a bulldozer coming to plow our agenda through. No, we're here to build trust and strong relationships. That matters to God. Most of the New Testament gives us training on how we can build relationships, stay united. I mean, this is most of what God is teaching us in the New Testament, because he wants us to become great relationship managers. Handles conflict effectively. You can't run from conflict. You have to embrace it. Influences others positively, and gives constructive feedback and inspires teamwork. When we can operate with these qualities and these characteristics, I'm telling you, our emotional intelligence will go to another level, and God will help us to use our influence for His kingdom, for His agenda, to build something in the lives of the people that He has placed us with. So I hope that these things, as you reflect on them, the qualities of and characteristics of high emotional intelligence will help you as you think about this. So I'll catch you in the next video.